Pending home sales increased for the first time in 6 months, according to the National Association of Realtors. Does that mean the curse is lifted? We're going to unpack it right after this. So what is a pending home? A pending home is when a sale is made, but the closing has not happened. So when the contract is signed, all parties have agreed, due diligence is happening, and we're waiting for that date when the buyers assume the ownership and take possession. Anywhere in between there is called a pending home. And they're important to know because they are an indicator of the sales that will be coming down the path. Now, there are two components to a pending contract. The first, of course, is a buyer, and the second is a home to sell. Now, the key ingredient there is the buyer because depending on how willing buyers are to participate in the market and how hungry they are to consume homes, it really indicates how the market is performing. And we measure those with various things like inventory levels and closing dates and days on market and those kinds of things. So we measure that with a pending home sales index number. So it's a forward-looking indicator of home sales based on contract signings, and we can tell a ton about the market, as I mentioned, from what this number looks like. But mainly, we're looking at really what sales are coming down the pipe based on this number. To monitor this, the United States is divided up into 4 regions. We have the Northeast region, we have the Midwest, we have the West, and we have the South. Now, the Northeast and the Midwest both kind of took basic and maybe minor declines this last month, but then the West and the South made gains, netting an improvement of about 2.5% on the pending home sales index. Now, this may sound like a very minor number, but at the end of the day, any progress forward is in fact progress forward. And this is a positive number because if you think about all the people who touched the materials on your property before that the house is ever built, before the materials even hit your pad site, we're talking about trees being cut down in the forest. We're talking about being processed at sawmills and placed on trucks and delivered to retail, big box chain stores, and shingles and siding and copper and piping and all of the things that go into your house and all the tradesmen that touch it and all the skilled workers that assemble it and all of that it goes into. It's a very big impact on what happens, and 2.5% is, again, a very, very positive impact. So it's also important to remember that with the pending sales, we see the number of homes that are actually going to close, which helps because as a whole, home sales in the United States and the housing industry actually contributes a very significant number to the United States gross domestic product. We're looking at about 15 to 18% of the GDP for the US found in the housing market. Now again, there's a lot of lives impacted with each home sale, so 2% definitely is a positive number. But there's additional news that we need to know. So we see some other positive things happening in the market. The National Association of Realtors, the chief economist, his name is Lawrence Yun, he just went on the record recently this last week in saying that the new norm for interest rates should be between 5.5% and 6.5%. Now that doesn't maybe make us super excited, but compared to the 7.5% interest rates we recently saw to try to combat inflation as of late, well, definitely take it over that number. Additionally, it's important to know that consumer confidence is up. Now, recently, the Home Purchase Sentiment Index, or the HPSI, this is a number that is used to distill all the information down and all the data down into a number that reflects home buyers' sentiment. So how confident people feel about buying homes in this market. It also kind of indicates that whether or not they feel like they're going to be employed a year from now, or if it's a good time to buy, or if they can afford a mortgage. Well, this index actually went up 3.7 points for a total of 61 points. So that's additional positive news. So with the 2.5% on the pending home sale index and the 3.1 point increase on the consumer confidence score with regard to home purchases, doesn't seem like there's a ton happening, and maybe this is much ado about nothing. But I can tell you it does feel like we're on the right track, that the US economy is starting to make gains again, that we're gonna have some positive traction in the housing industry. And we can only hope that's the case because we wanna see a strong, robust economy. We wanna see a lot of good things happening, but I can say this. with confidence. The more buyers participate in the market, the harder it is as a buyer to participate yourself. The more people participate, the higher prices go. If interest rates fall, prices will climb, more buyers will participate, and the individual buyer will have a more difficult time competing with pricing even though rates fall. So at the end of the day, we are starting to see some positive things happen. But we're still in a great place because, like it or not, rates are still kind of in the high fives. If that allows you to get into a home, taking advantage of some of the things that banks are doing to get around these interest rates, like offering closing costs and doing price reductions, that helps you as a consumer get into a home with a great monthly payment. And you get to beat the herd because the interest rates have not bottomed out yet, enabling all of the people that may have not wanted to buy to now take participation in the buyer's market. So get out, feel confident, buy a home, reach out to us. We'd love to help you. Agree? Disagree? We'd love to hear your thoughts. My name is Keith Duble, serving the greater Austin area and the Liberty Hill area, and I'd love to hear from you. Until then, we'll see y'all around the hill.
If you have any questions about anything in Liberty Hill, this house, or Santa Rita Ranch, or any of the other communities out here, definitely reach out to us. Judy and I have been top producers for quite a while. We've been doing real estate for, almost 13 years, and we definitely want to serve you. We can definitely help you get transitioned out here or answer any question you have, so feel free to reach out. I want you to know that I timed this video just so I could get this great sunset for you. In the meanwhile, if you have any questions, hit us up. Otherwise, we will see you around the hill.